Jim Johnson, 244. And remember, we told you he had 51 sanctioned 300 games. This man, Bob Learn Jr., has 50. Shot number 1, Bob Learn in the left lane.
And 6 match cheap for shot.
Well, these players have bowled against each other many times. Bob Learn from Erie, Pennsylvania in the Eastern region, and Jim Johnson from Wilmington, Delaware. They've met many times, but never on national television.
Right back at it. He has 7 regional titles, but that elusive first national PBA title.
Taking one of his 2 allowed re-racks in this match here in the second frame, or at least asked for it. He could be denied it. Talking about the regions, Chris, there are 7 PBA regions. The country's broken up, and that's how most of the players get their minor league training, so to speak, to come out here and compete on the Pro Bowlers Tour. And as you said, he's been done awfully well in the regionals, 7 titles, but never in the winner's circle with the big boys. Here we go, second frame.
Oh! JJ leaves.
Stubborn 10.
A 10-10.
Well, as opposed to the half 10s we saw at Benoit, this is just a ring and 10. You see JJ around this third arrow, pretty straight shot. 6 just up and over the top of the 10.
Oh, no.
Carelessness.
My goodness. My goodness. The PBA players make the single pin spares 95% of the time on the tour, and Johnson just jumped in that 5% zone, and that's going to open the door for Bob Learn.
Remember, he had a strike up, socks one to the second frame, and now takes a 22-pin lead and early.
Let's look at Learn. He's at 5 feet 6 inches tall, and he's a leg bowler. He's short, and he drives hard with his legs. He gets real power. He doesn't leave anything in the bag. Bob Learn would rather be wild than cut it short. So you can bet he's got a strong ball going down there. Right now, leads by 22.
Three in a row, and a 32-pin lead for the Erie, Pennsylvania professional. 2 titles, 18 regional titles for Learn. Now Johnson.
Oh. What a break Johnson gets right there. The head pin swings behind, hits the 4. The 4 rolls around the 5. The 5 rolls into 2. What a terrific break after missing.
You sure this isn't dominoes?
It looks like it. Watch this action. It looks like he's dead in the water with a bucket. Chris, reminiscent of Jess Stayrook, the 9th frame championship game against Bob Learn last year, tripped the 4 into the 2 to go on to win the title. Let's see if it affects Bob Learn in a negative way, and Johnson can take advantage.
Jess Stayrook, who won last year here, finished 22nd. Yes, we're in Lakewood, California, where beach activity is always nearby.
At McDonald's, everybody's a team player. Let's meet the team. Gene St. Fleur. This rookie holds his own with the pros, setting a new record for most completions in a single day. Veteran Mickey Bailey averages 300 smiles per hour.
Later 500 Sunday on ABC.
Seating here at Cal Bowl, paralleling our championship pair. And Bob Learn, a 22-pin lead, is on the right lane of that pair. Four in a row, just as his opponent Jim Johnson did to Bob Benoit, whom he defeated 244 to 211. Bob Learn, Erie, Pennsylvania. Although, here you are.
Well, thank you, Chris. The man who shot 1070 4 games on TV last year and has always bowled well here. But you've never had a good break here, David. Can that change around on the championship pair?
Well, you're a Hall of Famer, you know. You have to take the good with the bad. You know, there's bad breaks, there's good breaks. Things have gone bad here in the past few times that I've bowled here, but, you know, it's got to turn around sooner or later, and maybe I can flip that switch to make it happen.
He came down to 1 ball to strike to lead the tournament last night. Didn't happen. Maybe he'll turn around today. Back to you, Chris.
Okay, and Bob Learn is turning on the heat on Jim Johnson. 5 in a row. 42-pin lead. Strike up now, shooting the 5th, Johnson. All right. He opened a strike, then an open, and now has strung 3. He had 8 strikes in his 244 game in the first match. Bob Benoit, incidentally, picked up a check for $8,500 for finishing 5th. Cutting the lead now to 22 pins, but Learn is up. Halfway to 100,000.
We're talking about a man who's been there many times before. 50 perfect games in competition. That's not practice, just sticking 10 in a row or 12 in a row in practice or going on a new PBA computer game. That's for real out there.
And a 10. Bob had 1 of 4 perfect 300 games during the week here.
Good spare technique. Flattens his wrist out. Lot of speed. Cross lane. Straight shot. A little decoy shot there.
31 pins separating these two. The 1996 version, you know, of the PBA Tour has a hungry look. Take a peek. Watch.
Well, the kid who was driving.
On ABC Sports.
In the interview, but in the practice line,
We're back again at Cal Bowl, where Jim Johnson and Bob Learn Jr. head-to-head in our second match. Jim Johnson, whom you're looking, won the first game against Bob Benoit, 244 to 211. Now he's down 31 pins because Learn has been on a strike binge, but so is Jim now. Bagger, lead cut to 21 pins, Bo.
Well, if you look at this game, Chris, 14 balls rolled at the 1-3 pocket. Everybody in the pocket. Johnson is the only mistake. He left a solid 10 in the second frame and whiffed it. So he's in arrears by 21, but he can cut that down to 11 with a strike here in the 8th.
Now, Bob Learn, getting prepared, leads by 11. Is a spare working, shooting in the 8th frame.
Well, he gets a good break. You know, he bowled last year for the title, had every ball in the pocket and shot 215. Now he makes a mistake here and almost has the 310 baby split and gets a break. He knocks out the 10 pin, and so he stays right in the match. And this match is up for grabs as you see his reaction. With a spare here, it'll only be a 10 pin differential.
He and his wife Stacy, parents of Brandon and Brittany. Bob Learn Jr. from Erie, Pennsylvania, where we'll have one of our 7 arena finals. And I mentioned that area because Bruce Baumgartner, the 16-time national wrestling champion and many-time world champion, won the Sullivan Award at Orlando on Monday, and he'll join us when we're there.
Looking forward to it. He's looking forward to this strike, Bob Learn.
Stubborn tie again.
Interesting, Chris. Bob Benoit used a 15-pound ball. Left a couple of weak 10s was his undoing. Bob Learn Jr., another big hook ball player, is using a 15-pound ball. Watch the ball deflect and not quite get the impetus on the 6. See it lie down in the channel? Doesn't kick out the 10. And that so far has cost both players a chance to lose the game. Right now, after trailing by almost as much as 40 pins, Johnson can regain the lead, 9th frame.
What speed on that last shot covering the 10 pin. There's the suck.
Just playing around as a kid. You know, it's actually pretty good, Chris, because if you run to the line too fast, charge the line, you're going to slip. So it's a good little reminder. Can take the lead right here, 9th frame. No other pins except a 10 pin have been left in this match. 2 by each player. However, the difference for Johnson is his were just absolutely crushing.
Watch this reaction. What disappointment. Fiancée Sabrina Robinson, I'm sure, was disappointed too back in Wilmington.
Jimmy Johnson going at a 2:37 pace. Bob Learn 2:47 pace. 9 frames completed as they come up in the 10th, both working on spares. Jim a possible 2:47. If Bob Learn strikes and spares, he would have 2:47, a tie. Let's see what happens.
Tremendous bowling in our opening telecast of a tour of 14 cities, Nelson.
Well, reflecting being away from it for a little while, Chris, I see players even in better shape than I remember in 95. These guys are top shape. Sure, it's the 6th, 7th term of the season, but I see smaller waistlines and better strike balls.
The strike, the prettiest thing in bowling.
And that one was a key one because with one more strike, he'll force Bob Learn to strike twice to win, strike, spare to tie. Remember, if we have a tie game, we'll initiate a 2-frame sudden death roll-off to determine who bowls against David Ozio in the semifinal.
Was the downfall and disappointment for Bob Benoit in the very first game, which Johnson won. And now here against Bob Learn, Johnson has shot a 246 to go along with his 244 in his first game win.
For Bob Learn to win it in regulation, he must strike on this ball. Must strike to win it in regulation because 9 spare strike, we can have a tie. That was the key shot for Bob Learn Jr. Hits the light, scrambles the 4-7-8 off the sideboard. Right now, he just needs a spare to win the game. Strike, Lock City. It's a good break as the 2-5 falls out, and it sets up a situation for Bob Learn. Make the 5-pin, theoretically the easiest pin in the game of bowling to make, and he wins by 1 and will go on to face Ozio. If for some reason he'd happen to fan it or foul, we'd have a tie.
Sneak it for him. Oh, yeah. Went back.
By 1 pin, 247 to 246.
That's a match.
Learn moves on. Today's Comfort Inn
like
bowling tip of the week was